Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Let us start the session with a nice quote. Don't give up, great things take time. While preparing for competitive exams, never ever give up. Remember, great things take time, have patience. At the outset, wish you all a very happy and prosperous Ugadi. Have a good day, enjoy the day. Coming to today's editorial, it is all about Sri Lanka's rage. Here, you cannot make out what exactly it means, but when you read the editorial, you understand. It's all about the anger of the people, anger of Sri Lankan people against the president and the policies. From today's editorial, there's a lot to learn, not only from the language point of view, but also from vocabulary point of view. Now let us go to editorial vocabulary. The first word, rage. Rage means anger, violent, uncontrollable anger. It usually goes with effective English. Sometimes we use in conversational English. Rage, violent, uncontrollable anger, part of speech, noun. Coming to the second word, irate. Irate, part of speech adjective, feeling or characterized by great anger. In fact, today's editorial, you see three related words. One, rage, second, irate, third, infuriate. So, irate means feeling or characterized by great anger. Desperate, we have got many a time, adjective. It goes with a person. Desperate for a job, desperate for success. What does it mean? Having a great need or desire for something, badly in need of something. That's what it means. Crescendo, we have got for the first time an important word, crescendo. Reached the crescendo, touched the crescendo. Coming to the meaning of that, the highest point reached in a progressive increase of intensity. In a progressive increase of intensity. Unprecedented. Today I'm going to announce, middle of the editorial analysis, I'm going to announce, launch my app, talk about the courses. Please wait for some time. Crescendo, an important word. Unprecedented adjective, never done or known before, a familiar word. No, destitute has a different meaning. Destitute means very poor. That is different. Desperate is different. Someone may be rich but desperate for success. Destitute, poverty, penury, very poor. Decline has got two different meanings. One, it can be a noun, it can be a verb. As a one of the meanings, refuse, decline. But in this context, typically of something regarded as good becomes smaller, fewer, or less. In a way, decline means what? Decrease. Declining numbers means decreasing numbers. Landslide victory, a typical combination, part of speech adjective, obviously, an overwhelming majority of votes for one party or candidate in an election. We also use thumping majority, landslide victory. Threshold, the level or point at which you start experiencing something or you start to experience something. Yield, produce or provide a natural, agricultural, or industrial product. Yield has got another meaning that is a negative one. What does it mean? To give in, to surrender. But here it is a positive, it has a positive connotation. A rollback, a phrasal verb, a reverse of progress or reduce the power or importance of something. A roll back the measures, a roll back the policy, an important phrasal verb. Infuriate, as I said, there are three words rage, irate, infuriate. They all deal with anger. Infuriate, make someone extremely angry or impatient. Part of speech, verb, it's a regular verb. Apathy, we have got many a time. Noun, lack of interest, more than interest and enthusiasm, lack of concern. You should also recollect the words callous, stony, apathy, all related words. Plight, we have got this many a time, last year especially, when I did a lot of editorials related to migrant workers, the plight of migrant workers. In the recent past, the Ukraine war, the plight of Indian students, a dangerous, difficult, or otherwise unfortunate situation. Plight means unfortunate situation. Denial, deny to refuse, denial, the action of denying something, to say no or to refuse. Part of speech noun, deny is a verb. A roadmap, you all should have a roadmap to achieve success. So part of speech noun, it is more rather than noun idiomatic expression. What does it mean? A plan or strategy, two key words, intended to achieve a particular goal or success. What is a roadmap to success? Excuse me. Simplistic, part of speech adjective, treating complex issues and problems as if they were much simpler than they really are. You take a complex issue and you treat it as if it were a simple issue. Then we use the word simplistic, an important word. Putative, we have got for the first time. Generally considered or reputed to be. Remember reputation, putative, related to reputation, reputed to be. Part of speech, noun. Tale. Tale, we have got many a time. Noun, a fictitious or true narrative or story. Tale, story you can remember. Fable, related words. Profligate, an important word we have got for the first time. Part of speech adjective, recklessly extravagant or wasteful in the use of resources. You should recollect words like extravagant, lavish, spendthrift, and a new word, profligate, an important word. Shore up, another important phrasal verb. Shore up means to support something or keep something from falling by placing something under or against it. Something is about to fall, then you give a support or you support that, then shore up. A particular country, economy is in danger, then shore up. That is a context. Part of speech, phrasal verb. Bail out, also a phrasal verb. Bail out, bail, give a bail to someone. It could be a noun, it could be a verb. It's a legal term, but it has other connotations. In this context, a different meaning, not the regular legal meaning. Help someone out of a difficult situation. Someone is in a difficult situation, you help that person to come out of that situation. Then you say, I have been or he has been bailed out by me. Advocate as a noun, we all know lawyer, but as a verb, publicly recommend or support. Advocate a particular cause. Disenchantment, an important word, noun, a feeling of disappointment and about someone or something you previously respected or admired. Initially, you respect someone, admire someone, but later, because of various reasons, you don't respect or you get disappointed. Then we use the word disenchantment, an important word. Decisive, adjective, having or showing the ability to make decisions quickly and effectively. And also important, you can say, decisive, quick and effective. Halt, an easy word. What does it mean? Verb, stop. It's a regular verb. Halt, halted, halted. Empathetic, empathy, showing an ability to understand and share the feelings of another. That's all about editorial vocabulary. A lot of words, some of those are important, very important from the exam point of view. We have got for the first time. Now let us go to the editorial. Sri Lanka's rage. Now, Sri Lanka is a country. How do we understand Sri Lanka's rage? When you read the editorial, you understand here the country, name of the country refers to the people of Sri Lanka. So, Sri Lanka's rage means what? The anger, uncontrollable, violent anger of Sri Lankan people. For that, it has been used, Sri Lanka's rage. The main idea of the editorial, President Rajapaksa must acknowledge popular anger and come up with a recovery plan. Whatever you see in green, grammar related, important from the exam point of view, and whatever is underlined, either a phrase or a clause used to add more information. Take those things for granted. Here, President Rajapaksa must acknowledge, you must do this, you must do that. So here, must, it's a helping verb, it has two different functions. One, it is used to express a personal obligation, an obligation imposed by the speaker. And the second one, it is used to convey the idea that something is compulsory. Here, personal obligation. President Rajapaksa must acknowledge, means must accept, consider. Popular anger, here popular anger means the anger of the people, Sri Lankan people, and he has to think of something creative or innovative, come up with, come up with an important expression, phrasal verb you have to remember. Come up with what? A recovery plan. Right now, the Sri Lankan economy is in doldrums. It is going through a very bad patch. So, based on that, this editorial has been written. I'm using expressions to make you understand the present scenario in Sri Lanka. Now, coming to the editorial, and as irate protesters, there's one important word, irate. As I said in this editorial, the writer has used three words related to anger: one, rage; second, irate; third one, infuriate. All the three deal with anger. As irate protesters gathered near the house of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in a desperate bid to highlight their suffering, the worsening economic crisis in Sri Lanka has possibly reached its crescendo. Now let us look at the words first. Irate, feeling or characterized by great anger. With a lot of anger, irate. Irate tourists, irate passengers, irate students, any combination you can use. In a desperate bid, here bid means attempt. Bid has got many meanings. One goes with auction, bidding, but in this context it means attempt. It also goes with bid adieu, means to say goodbye to someone. But desperate bid, desperate attempt. Desperate means what? It goes with a person having a great need or desire for something. There is a great need or desire for something. We usually say desperate for a job, desperate for success. Here, desperate bid to highlight their suffering. It starts with as irate protesters gathered near the house of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in a desperate bid to highlight their suffering. But the actual idea, the main idea in this sentence, the worsening economic crisis in Sri Lanka has possibly reached its crescendo. The worsening, again, worsen, that is a verb. Bad, worse, worst, that is different. Worsen, worsened, worsened, a different verb altogether. The worsening economic crisis in Sri Lanka has possibly reached its crescendo. Crescendo, an important word. What does it mean? The highest point reached in a progressive increase of intensity. Initially, who is this? Ahmed. I got selected in reserve list IBPS clerk for Karnataka. Congratulations, Ahmed. Happy, glad to know that. 23.75 English. That's very good. My pleasure. I got a few messages. Student got selected SBI PO, another one a different bank exam. Four or five students have just sent messages. I wish you all, I would like to congratulate all of you on your success and all the best, your future career. Very good, glad to know that. Coming back to the editorial, it talks about a lot of people, Sri Lankans, they gathered in front of, near the house of the president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Why did they gather over there? In a desperate bid to highlight? They wanted to highlight their plight or they wanted to highlight their suffering. The worsening, because of this scenario, this situation, the worsening economic crisis in Sri Lanka has possibly reached its crescendo. It is in a bad shape. So, because of this particular incident or event, has possibly reached its crescendo, means the highest point reached in a progressive increase of intensity. An important word, please remember the word crescendo. The Rajapakshas, an important expression. When we talk about a particular family, usually it goes with Mr. and Mrs. We use a definite article the, and also we use a surname in the plural form without any apostrophe. The Smiths, the Johns, the Rajapakshas, the Guptas. The surname in plural form and the definite article the. The Rajapakshas, four brothers, they are in power right now in Sri Lanka. So it refers to the family, plural form, the Rajapakshas, who have dominated the political and electoral scene, face an unprecedented decline in their popularity as the people struggle for want of adequate money, fuel, and food. These four brothers, the Rajapakshas, they were very popular 2 years ago, who have, because of their popularity, dominated the political and electoral scene. But right now, they face an unprecedented decline in their popularity. Unprecedented, never seen before, never known before. Decline, coming down, declining standards, decline in their popularity. Why? What is the reason for that? As the people struggle for want of adequate money, fuel, and food. There's a saying in Hindi, I will not use that, but if I have to translate, one is food, essential things, food, shelter, and clothes. Here, money, fuel, and food. All are important. Now it talks about the editorial analyzes the reasons behind. Apparently, obviously, one reason, but when you analyze, when you look at it when you try to analyze, going deep into that, you find other reasons. The roots of the crisis may not lie wholly in the policies of Mr. Gotabaya. The roots of the crisis, the actual reasons, may not lie, an important word. Lie can be a noun, lie can be a verb. As a verb, it can be a regular verb, lie, lied, lied. It can be an irregular verb, lie, lay, lain. As an irregular verb, here, irregular verb. It has two different meanings. One meaning to be in the horizontal position while relaxing, another meaning to be in a particular state for a long time. So here, the roots of the crisis may not lie wholly in the policies of Mr. Gotabaya, who was swept to power in 2019 as president on a platform of strong leadership and decisive action, while his party, the Sri Lanka Podujana Paramuna, won a landslide in parliamentary elections a year later. As I said, the family, the brothers, they were very popular in 2019, 2 years ago. Now that popularity has started declining. A lengthy sentence, but what does it talk about? When it comes to the reasons for this crisis, the reasons or the roots may not lie wholly in the policies of the Rajapakshas and Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who was swept to power in 2019 as president on a platform of strong leadership and decisive action, while his party, the Sri Lanka, the name of the party, Podujana Paramuna, won a landslide in parliamentary elections a year later. A landslide victory, a typical combination, yes, Hema, you're right, and also thumping majority, two related expressions. Overwhelming majority, we say landslide, victory, a typical combination, and overwhelming majority, we also use the expression thumping majority. So it talks about the president, how he came to power, his party, how it came to power. And now, obviously, any party, any leader comes to power based on popularity, based on leadership qualities, based on decisive action. But right now, his party, his own charisma, perhaps, charismatic personality means what? Attractive personality. It started declining after 2 years, 2019, 2022. The Rajapakshas, again an important expression, the Rajapakshas did inherit. You may ask, sir, why is this in green? Usually we say the Rajapakshas inherited, past tense, regular pattern. I saw someone, regular pattern, past tense. But when I want to emphasize, I use a different pattern. I will say, I did see someone. I saw someone, regular pattern. I did see someone, emphatic pattern. The same way the Rajapakshas inherited a regular pattern, but here the Rajapakshas did inherit emphatic pattern. Some economic problems. While what are the actual reasons? Now the editorial analyzes the actual reason or reasons. The Rajapakshas did inherit some economic problems, while the pandemic cast a greater burden. One of the reasons, uh, this pandemic impact, negative impact of the pandemic. Here, while a lot of students think while goes only with continuous form, need not be. While can go with a regular pattern, need not be a continuous tense. It also goes with continuous tenses. You have to remember that. However, the current administration is indeed responsible. Yesterday, someone asked, Sir, what is the meaning of the word indeed? The word indeed is used to emphasize. However, the current administration is indeed responsible. Though the impact of COVID was there, it cast a greater burden, an important expression. The pandemic cast a greater burden. Again, you have to recollect cast. When it comes to words like hurt, cast, telecast, broadcast, they have the same form. And cost also, you cannot say costed, not correct, casted, not correct, and broadcasted, not correct. Recollect all the words cast, cast, broadcast, telecast, and also hurt. All the three forms are same. So it talks about other reasons. However, the current administration is indeed responsible for some ill advised populist measures. Emphatic. No doubt the pandemic cast a greater burden, but current administration means in the hands of the Rajapakshas, is indeed responsible emphatically for some ill advised populist measures. They must have taken a few measures. When you read the editorial, you understand. And even in this sentence, they have been highlighted. And those measures must have backfired. They must have boomeranged. Ill advised populist measures, such as, like what? A huge raise in the threshold for income taxes and VAT registration. Threshold, the level or point at which you start to experience something for income taxes and VAT registration, leading to revenue loss. There's one more reason. And there was a questionable order to move to fertilizer free farming overnight. Overnight, within no time. That's an important expression. But today, this sentence talks about around the world, especially developing countries. If you take India, we have been following natural, nature based practices and organic cultivation for hundreds of years. This talks about not using fertilizers and resorting to organic cultivation. And there was a questionable order to move to fertilizer free farming overnight, which led to loss of yield and drew sharp criticism. An important expression, draw sharp criticism, past, drew sharp criticism. Yield in this context, which led to loss of yield. It goes with agriculture, crop. Yield means what? Related to the crop, the output, the produce. But yield also means it has a negative connotation. What does it mean? It means to surrender, to give in. Negative, but here it is a positive thing, the produce, agricultural produce. The chemical fertilizer ban has been rolled back. Rolled back means reverse, but its impact on food security remains. The damage was done. Yet, yet goes with when it is used as an adverb, it goes with negative and negative interrogative sentences. It comes at the end of the sentence. Here it has been used as a conjunction to show the contrast. Yet, more than anything, an important phrase, what appears to infuriate the people, infuriate, make people angry, is a perception of governmental apathy towards their plight. Perception, they feel that the governmental apathy is not acceptable. Governmental apathy, apathy means what? Lack of concern in this context towards their plight, unfortunate situation, of denial of existence of a crisis. Perhaps the government says there is no crisis. Why do you fret about that? Denial, saying no, denial of the existence of a crisis, and the absence of a roadmap for economic recovery. Right now, the economy, Sri Lankan economy, is in doldrums. Now there should be a roadmap for economic recovery. So, three factors. One is their perception that the government has apathy towards their plight, governmental apathy towards their plight. Second, denial of the existence of a crisis. And the third, the absence of a roadmap for economic recovery. No solution whatsoever. The second part of the editorial deals with what? It may be simplistic, an important word. There is a complex issue. You try to make it look very simple, treat it as if it were a simple issue. Then we use the word simplistic, an important word. It may be simplistic to summarize the causative factors behind the crisis as excessive borrowings at high interest rates and a putative Chinese debt trap. Putative, generally considered or reputed to be an important word. At, at the When you look at it casually, you may come to the conclusion because of excessive borrowings at high interest rates and a putative Chinese debt trap, all this has happened. However, contrasting information. There's behind it a tale of economic mismanagement. At the outset, it may look that way, but however, there's behind it a tale of economic mismanagement. Tale, story of economic mismanagement. Tale also means a fictitious or true narrative or story. Profligate use of public resources. Public resources, profligate use means what? Extravagant use of public resources and possible mishandling of monetary policy. Different factors the editorial talks about. Sri Lanka, now it talks about the major revenue source for this particular island country. Sri Lanka, an island nation heavily dependent on imports, gains its foreign exchange through tourism, the export of garments and tea, besides external remittances. There are four sources when it comes to foreign exchange of this island country, and it depends heavily on imports. So, where does it get it from? The foreign exchange, tourism industry, a major industry in Sri Lanka, the export of garments and tea, Sri Lankan tea, very popular internationally, besides external remittances. If the Easters, but all these have been affected because of one, the terrorist act, the other, pandemic. If the Easter Sunday blast of 2019 set back its tourism sector, the novel coronavirus pandemic almost finished it off. These two factors, the country got affected badly. One more reason, the heavy-handed lockdown overseen by a military-led task force had severe economic consequences too, as livelihoods were lost while earnings suffered. During the lockdown, perhaps heavy-handed lockdown means very strict, overseen by a military-led task force, had severe economic consequences too. So what happened because of that heavy-handed lockdown, overseen by a military-led task force? Livelihoods were lost. Obviously, that is very dangerous. While earnings suffered, livelihoods lost and earnings suffered. Now, what does the country need? The country needs measures to shore up its foreign exchange. Shore up, an important phrasal verb, to support something or keep something from falling. Its foreign exchange reserves and the balance of payment position. What has it been doing? India has extended, it started taking help from the neighbors. India has extended assistance amounting to 2.4 billion US dollars, and China is also looking at further loans. The country's past resistance to borrowing from the IMF may not last. In the past, they refused to borrow from International Monetary Fund. Now it may not last for a long time. May not last, not last, last. Lasting means what? To be there for a long time. And it may have to accept the significant conditionalities for a bailout package. If at all if it wants to take from IMF, it has to accept conditionalities, obviously, for a bailout package. Bailout means what? Help someone out of a difficult situation. How does the editorial end? However, advocating, supporting, or promoting that the people tighten their belts and suffer a little more may not work. Now, perhaps the government says, right now it is saying, tighten your belts and suffer a little more. This may not work. The president should acknowledge the same idea, the main idea is being reiterated. The president should acknowledge both the depth of the crisis and the rising public disenchantment, an important word, disappointment. What his country needs is empathetic leadership. Empathetic means showing concern or thinking from the other person's point of view, empathy. Today at the workplace, we talk about EQ. EQ means what? Emotional quotient. That is nothing but empathy. And decisive measures, quick and effective measures to halt the downward spiral. Now it is going down. To stop that, to stop the downward spiral. This is all about the editorial. Now, coming to comprehension from the editorial, what are the questions you can think of based on comprehension skill? First one, as usual, what is this editorial about? What is indeed responsible for some ill advised populist measures? Important words have been used, important combinations have been used. Ill advised populist measures. Keywords you can easily locate and write the answer. What led to loss of yield and drew sharp criticism? Not using fertilizers, you can easily locate and write. What appears to infuriate the people of Sri Lanka? Keyword infuriate. How does Sri Lanka gain its foreign exchange? There are four sources, all the four sources you have to list out. The sources, how does Sri Lanka gain its foreign exchange? Now, you guys have been waiting, even I have been waiting to launch my app. Listen very carefully. After this, we'll go to editorial vocabulary exercise. The name of my app is Murthy's English. Murthy's English. How can you download this app? Go to the Play Store and just type search for Murthy's English, and this is what you will see. Murthy's English for competitive exams. Murthy's English is the name of the app. And the number, this is official number 7032325590. In this, when you download the app, you come across, you will have paid courses, the study material, test series, demos, special sessions, store where you have the e-zine. I will talk about that in the next. I'm going to come up with a special video. Then job alerts and career guidance. These are the features of the app. And what is the name of the app? Murthy's English. Do remember. And download right now. When you, if you download after the session, you may not see anything. It's like a clean slate. Because of the technical issues, I had to wait. Now I thought no point in waiting further. I wanted to launch, but I'm going to launch the courses on 7th of this month. I'm going to come up with a video regarding that. Then slowly I will add features. You will see more features. Right now it is like a clean slate, but the features you can see. When it comes to the question, why with Murthy's? Why should you learn English with me? I would like to give a few reasons. Intensive courses. My courses are intensive courses. Please listen very carefully. Usually what happens, a lot of students think, fine, we have gone to some, we are in a particular, we have enrolled in a particular institute, and here we learn everything. It's a holistic. We learn quant, we learn English, we learn reasoning, we learn current affairs, all under one roof. Then why should we go to Murthy's to learn English? Now, English is a deciding factor. One thing, if I have to use a politician's expression, from Delhi to gully for almost all the candidates, what is the bottleneck? What is the impediment? What is the problem, hurdle? English. So when you go to a particular source, all the dimensions are touched. It may not be intensive. Because I deal only with English, nothing else, my courses are intensive. Intensive courses and exam centric exercises and mocks, exam centric test series, live and interactive sessions. Usually online classes recorded, but every month I'm going to launch a live and interactive session. My classes are live classes. These courses are live. You may have recorded also, but every month I'm going to come up with live courses, live batches. That is one advantage if you learn with me, not only live, interactive. Complementary website. I'm going to talk about the website, and still today by evening I'll come up with a video. There I will talk about this website, my website, and not only that, the Hindu Editorial Analysis. This is again a complementary activity. And English magazine, e-zine, this is also a complementary thing. And I will come up with special sessions. Right now, you all know 200 grammar rules, all these things. So these are the advantages if you learn with Murthy's. And again, official number 703232 5590. And today I'm going to come up with another video. There I'm going to talk about my website, affordable prices, of course, and the validity. All these details I'm going to give. Today it is only launching officially on this platform, and it's like a clean slate, no inputs yet, but slowly I'm going to do that. I'm going to launch the courses on 7th of this month. All the details I will definitely provide. Now let us go to, thanks for listening. Now let us go to editorial vocabulary. Please try to do it quickly. Today, no practice questions based on exam topics, only the editorial analysis and editorial vocabulary. Online, it is completely online. I will definitely continue that. Why will I stop? I said the Hindu editorial is complimentary. I'm going to do that. Live sessions, you can immediately get them cleared. That's why I said live interactive sessions. While listening to me, if you have a doubt, you can ask a doubt. I will clear the doubt immediately. And live polls also. All these details I'm going to. I will come up with a video exclusive, the app features, and also website, the features. You have to wait for. Today I will be coming up with a website related video, and tomorrow app related, and tomorrow itself I will come up with the courses I'm going to offer and the benefits if you enroll in the course. Rage, part of speech, noun, what does it mean? Violent, uncontrollable anger. Irate passengers, irate tourists, part of speech, adjective. What does it mean? Characterized by anger, angry. J is the answer. Desperate situation, desperate condition, part of speech, adjective. So, what does it mean? Badly in need of something, need or desire for something, in need of something, badly in need of something. A is the answer. Crescendo, an important word, part of speech, noun. What does it mean? The highest point when it comes to the intensity of something, increasing intensity, the highest point, we use the word crescendo. Roll back, a phrasal verb. Reverse something, reverse a progress or take back a particular policy, reverse a particular policy, reverse a progress. I. Crescendo, where is it? G is the answer. Infuriate, verb, make someone angry. B is the answer. Apathy, part of speech, noun. Lack of concern. You should also recollect words like callous, stony. Where is it? Lack of concern. F. Plight, unfortunate situation. E. Plight of migrant workers, plight of Indian students. Plight, part of speech, noun. Unfortunate situation. Denial, deny is a verb. Denial, noun. Refuse something, refusing something. Bailout is a phrasal verb. Bail, as such, it's a legal term, but bailout is a phrasal verb. Someone is in crisis, lot of problems, hardships. You give a helping hand, then we use the expression bail out. He has been bailed out. Means what? Help someone out of a difficult situation. Answer is D. That's all for today. No practice questions based on exam topics, only editorial analysis. Affordable prices, definitely I'm going to make it affordable. Don't worry about that. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Enjoy the festival. And do remember to subscribe and share. Join the Telegram group. I'll provide the links, everything. Go to the description of the video. From tomorrow, you're going to have the links related to the app, how to download the app, and also the website. That is also complimentary.